Good evening. Welcome to the ZnZerna Music Hour. My name's P.T. Burnham. We're gonna have some fun tonight. I got this shape on the video synth. I've got the Esperfield ready to roll. I've got some drones coming out of the MPC right now. I'll show you what we're working with right now. Got a fuzz pedal on the Esperfield. I've also got a delay pedal. I got the MXR. I recently ordered a bunch of 9-volt adapters so that I can run all my pedals and finally just have everything ready to roll. So this fuzz pedal is really doing some good. Hear that nice soft texture? Esperfield into the Tensor, which can alternately provide sort of a harmonic content like that, or can get loops and different like slow down effects like this. Give it a lot of random juice. The Tensor has a bit of like intelligent random. Pardon me. I feel awful, y'all. You know, if y'all see me on the street and my mustache is drooped and my hair is poofy, I probably don't feel so great. But we're going in. And I'm going to be playing this recording. For the first time, I'm going to be playing this recording of a sort of audio journal that I've been keeping. So there's a little bit of this audio journal that's going to play during the jam. We're going to revisit what I've got going on here. And probably add in some drums and stuff. But I'm going to move on to a few. Thank you to everybody for joining us. What up, Erica? In these tiny lives of ours, it can feel like meaning is hard to find. But I feel like, even though the things that we participate in are small, keep in mind, everything is forgotten eventually. The real question is, did you participate with a full heart? And yes, I'm talking to you, Erica. that from just, I'm gonna make all that from just the tensor, which is nice. So, I've been working with the Esperfield. Pardon me again. Drink drinks, y'all. Oh, shoot. I should be drinking tea, but I'm drinking coffee instead. I'm actually drinking a wonderful medium roast called the Middle Path. Foot bags, drink drinks. The chalice. It's called Middle Path, and it's actually roasted by my friend Pepe as part of his Stay Free coffee line. If you look up Stay Free Coffee. And I paid for these bags even though he's my friend. There's not any kind of conflict of interest. It is literally one of the best coffees that I've ever tasted. All of the coffees that he roasts are good, but this Middle Path stuff, whoo, banger. I'm just saying. Very good, very good. Middle Path. Middle Path roast. Okay, so let's see. Bring back that shit. Okay, so let's go into some of these all pre-cooked beats. I want to show off some of the stuff that I've been working on. And we will return to that drum there. I may play around in the Esperfield a little bit, but this could be nice. This is made with the Rumble of Ancient Times and the KO2 as part of that case that I've been working with. And it's been working out great. I've been fleshing things out inside of the MPC and using the Esperfield to add additional noisy, more melodic type grooves. So here is some of that. Wow, you would really think, give me 1 second. Okay, yeah. I don't know what the deal with that was.
doing some speed work and listening to Kailasha by Eliana. And I turned on the tape recorder because I want to talk about love.
So that was one of the productions. I thought that was a good one. This is probably going to come out as a collection of beats. There's definitely one that I'm going to use, which is the one that you heard earlier in the show. Got that lovely, slower reverb here. This bad boy is quite a nice little box of atmosphere, helping things sound spacey and mysterious. I love it very much. Okay, let's go with the next one.
I'm 43 years old, and I've loved a lot of people in different ways. But I've come to the conclusion that most of what I experience and what we experience truly as love on this plane of existence should really be classified under desire, not love. Now, one can have more virtuous desires and less virtuous desires. So just because we're operating in the realm of desire doesn't mean that we're being immoral, really. It's not about morality. It's about that what they call like the selfless love or the God love, agape, is the only thing really worth calling love. The rest of it is desire mixed with kindness, mixed with sentimentality, mixed with romance, a lot of things blending there. But when one experiences what we traditionally call love in this culture, really, it's a huge flare-up of desire. I have friends who probably wouldn't want me saying that and would argue with me. I know that my partner currently would probably scratch her head a little bit. She knows that I love her. And when I say that maybe I don't even really know what love is, or I barely know what love is, like real love, true love. If you're looking for true love, there's not a lot of room for romance. Romance involves imagination and make-believe. Real and true love involves clarity and needs to be honest with itself. Being a romantic won't get you very far in the practice of true love. I'm starting to track down threads of what I feel are close to the aspect of true love that I'm talking about. I'll try to
let's go.
Explain it to you. Non-possessiveness is
let me know. I'll send it your way. Okay, so we're going to work with a little more ambience. Maybe add in some drums. Yeah, I'm going to play this love joint. Drink drinks. That is wrong. That's wrong. But why does it do that? That's weird. That's what I'm talking about.
In true love, it's a love that doesn't need the one you love. I'm going to try and stay away from references to some of my favorite thinkers and spiritual teachers. But I will mention this one passage from Be Here Now, where Ram Dass is talking about meeting the Guru for the first time. And I'm not going to explain here the difference between a guru and a teacher, but it is large. A guru is not a teacher. If there's somebody trying to teach you things and they want to be called a guru, they're lost. That's not it. A guru is the clear lens, like Christ. I'm not saying every guru is Christ. Christ was a very, very specific historical figure, and it's a specific manifestation of one who was in the spirit, that was totally in touch. But Christ was a clear lens, for sure. You gotta understand what I'm working from here. When I talk about the clear lens, metaphorically speaking, we'll talk about the light of, when I say God, I'm not talking about anything that we could understand. There is no man with a great beard. There is the mind that is God is so unfamiliar to me and my workings that I can barely, and the word itself is so overused that it's almost useless. But there is something that we used to refer to as God, which I am referring to now, and that is like the light of the sun. It's a masculine energy, but it's not a guy. It's masculine because it is formative. It has directional power. It has will, or it is will. You could get into a 20-minute conversation on just that. But suffice it to say, the will, God will of the sun beats down on the feminine waters of personality, which is you, me. So you picture yourself as a lake upon which the sun is shining. Our personalities, our personal egos, are the ripples of the surface of that water. My mind is not still. It reflects the light of the sun in a shattered way. It may be fascinating, but it is not the light of the sun in its pure reflection. So everyone has different ripples. We find the ripples fascinating. But a guru is somebody who has stilled their waters and is now reflecting the sun in a very pure way. There's almost no difference between them and the sun. So that's gurus in a nutshell. You could do a lot of learning about gurus. When Ram Dass met the guru, he said that he simultaneously loved him so much and felt so devoted that he only just wanted to touch his feet. Not like only touch his feet, obviously, but that was the level of devotion, that level of love, to just, be in contact with them is what is so beautiful and is your heart's only desire, but at the same time, not caring if he ever met him again in physical form at all. Not caring. Can you imagine this? It's hard for us to imagine being used to the idea of romantic love and relational love. But can you imagine loving someone so much that it's the deepest love you've ever felt, and also not caring if you ever saw them again? It's unfathomable to us because we're so attached to form. Now, love is not a form. Love is an energy. And what we are for each other truly is only conduits of that love. And how much love I can get is a matter of how much I open my conduit. If I can only get love from my partner, because that's the only way that I can see it, is with this special relationship which I've nurtured, and this specific and unique relationship. If that's the only conduit I have, then that's the love that I will get. But you can open up your conduit to get love from more than that. And it's a matter of if you can see yourself and be vulnerable to that person. If you can see yourself and be vulnerable to that situation. Truly, love is not just based around people. Love is based also inside of situations, inside of places. And each time, the main reality of how love can affect you is vulnerability. Vulnerability. You must be open for love to be effective. And I can be open to my partner. I'm learning to be open to many people, to allow myself to be changed by people. It doesn't come easy to me, but it kind of comes naturally. The thing standing in my way is a feeling of paranoia and not wanting to be exposed. I'm vulnerable. Because I do not understand the fullness of love, I am lonely. Look, we're going to work with that idea of love being think of it as a source energy, and when you feel it, what you're feeling is a connection to it. A person has become a conduit, because love can't just come to you all the time. It could, but you would have to be so open. If the love came to you all the time, you would end up like a guru or a Christ. And most of us don't really want that, actually. Our egos are all hung up on what we can accomplish here and not being vulnerable. Our ambitions, we must keep safe. So most people we won't let ourselves be vulnerable to, so we cannot allow them to be a conduit for love. Recognizing that the people are only a conduit, that my babe, she's special to me because I've allowed myself to become vulnerable to her. She had a specific set of features and attributes which allowed my softening to become vulnerable. And that's that aspect of pure love that is within our relationship. But there is also an aspect of desire, heavy aspect of desire. And you can recognize it by its possessiveness. You can recognize it by the tantrums that it throws when it doesn't get what it wants. And what it wants can be very nuanced. It doesn't just have to be like, I want you here with me, or like this possessiveness of, I want you for mine. Or even like for me, there's a heavy aspect of wanting to consume a person. A lot of people find that attractive, that desire, because a lot of people want to be consumed. But that desire is a desire, it's not a love. It's the same as wanting some ice cream. So like following it is as meaningful as following the ice cream route. But you might be tricked into thinking that you're following the true love route. You're following love, you're following your heart. Don't do it. You're not following love, you're following love route. You're following love, you're following your heart. Don't do it. You're not following love, you're following your desires, the heart's desire. If you follow real love, you will find real love, and that will be all you will ever need. But most of us cannot follow real love. We need an object. We need some kind of translation for love. We cannot have it in its pure form. So what I'm thinking about lately, what I'm trying to do is move away from it. Move away from the desire and move towards what I recognize, or what I think I recognize as being closer to the agape. Okay, for one, that involves doing things in the service of love. Now, you can do this practice relatively easily. What you do is you take something that the person that you love loves, and you serve that with the full heart, as if you were serving your love like breakfast, or if you were like making love the person that you love. Only if you use making love as an act of service. You kind of have to be there in your heart. If you're just fucking around, then that's fine. Everybody should do what they need to do, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about physical love as an act of service, which is so thrilling. But what's not as thrilling is, okay, so for instance, my babe, she loves good coffee. The existence of good cups of coffee in the world make my babe happy on some small level. So for me, what's closer to this selfless, non-objective love is, so I will make coffee. At my job, I'm a barista. I will make coffee with the same kind of love that I have for my babe. Sometimes I have to keep my babe focused in my mind, almost like as if I was making each cup for her. But you can get to a place where it's not like that. It's like the act itself is what you are like loving and putting love in. So that's one practice. And see if you can do that. If I can do that with coffee, because I chose it, because it was attached to a person that I love in this existence, then I can also learn to detach that, to just do the things that you do in the day with that love, as if you were doing them for the person that you love. It's not as thrilling. It certainly doesn't satisfy the desire of possession. You can be away from your person that is the object of your desire. I call this person an object. I just mean that this is the focus of your desire. I don't mean that you're necessarily objectifying a person, although truly you probably are in some fashion. I do, and I know that. I don't really meet people that don't objectify people in some fashion or another. This is a very easy thing to do, and the tendency to do it is high. Anytime you want someone to be something for you, that especially if it's something they're not, and you don't like that they aren't, you've already objectified them. You've placed them. When I say subject object, anything you're interacting with, I don't necessarily mean that you're objectifying. But on another level, I do. I mean that we all objectify each other all the time. It's almost necessary for our interactions. Because I have to be objectified as a barista. They have to be objectified as a customer. We have to have that interaction if they're going to get their coffee. Yeah, we could just dissolve into puddles of love and admiration, and I see the holy in you, you see the holy in me, we truly appreciate this, and nobody's getting their coffee for 30-40 minutes. And I'm not saying that capitalism grinding to a halt would be a terrible thing, but I'm saying most of us don't want that. Even if we like the idea of capitalism grinding to a halt, we still are scared of what that would even mean, and what it would really mean to truly love each other and go about that kind of life. We can't hold it against ourselves. We can't say, you're terrible for not living that kind of life. This is the life of the true king. This is the life of the truly enlightened. This is no small treasure. This is an immense treasure that we're talking about seeking. It's not easy to get to. It's nuanced, it's subtle. The way that we're already so entangled with desire, and the way that desire masquerades as love. You can find examples of agape, sort of, in the way that you might love your animals, because you don't expect much of them. In fact, a practice that I like to do for myself is to remember that no animal is driving itself crazy trying to think about justifying its existence on this planet. The mere fact that it breathes is reason and demonstration enough that it deserves to exist, that it should exist. It doesn't need to justify its existence. If it shouldn't exist, it wouldn't. Anything that exists should. And that's a heavy and terrible thing to think about when you think about all the evil and the people that are destructive and careless. All that is supposed to exist. It's a real mind bender to be working toward these things. You have to be able to work for a new world without resenting this world. Understanding that this world is the teacher. This world is the thing teaching you how to open yourself to love. You'll notice that in the lessons. People don't take these things seriously anymore. They became cliches, and people stop thinking about them. Honesty isn't a virtue because it looks good on a resume, or I want to be able to trust you. That's a good reason for it, but honesty is necessary for you and your personal growth, because it's the only way to deal with reality. And that brings us back to romance. I'm a romantic heavy. my imagination runs wild with all sorts of superfluous aspects to reality that may or may not be there, but I can see them. That's one thing as an artist, you need to be able to be that way. You need to see what isn't there and then be able to make it palpable for people. It's one of the powers of the artist. But you have to be careful with romance because it involves illusion. If you see what isn't there and you're able to bring it to people and then they can see it, then maybe it really is there. But don't set weight on structures that may be imaginary. You have to learn to discern what you are imagining and what you are really seeing, what is really there and what is something that you can see. Some people think that's really easy, it's obvious. I don't walk around hallucinating all day. If you don't think that you walk around hallucinating all day, you don't know much about human evolution, the evolution of attention, the evolution of the mind. The evolution of the mind, I'll put it this way, and you can do your own research on this, so you can understand. The evolution of the mind didn't evolve for truth. The mind evolved for survival, and that's good that it did. But don't get too confused, because the world can be divvied up in many different ways. The way that you can see things, especially when it comes to human relationships. You can cut that cake 1,000 different ways. And the way that we're taught to cut it right now is not working out. I talk about the way we're taught to cut it. What I mean, I'll give you an example of what I mean. I cannot really summarize what I mean. When I say the way that we cut the cake in regards to how we see the world and ourselves, the ego runs rampant, and I'll use this as an example. Even if you are not a Christian, this is a good example. Modern day Western Christians, white Christians, insist that Jesus must be white, even if logically they understand he could not have been what they consider Caucasian white. But he must be Caucasian white. Whiteness doesn't even exist. I could talk about that for a long time, but a lot has been already said about that, so I'll just say, you see that these people could not even accept salvation of their souls from someone who didn't look like them. That's how heavy the ego is running rampant. It's heavy. The ego is on a roll right now. And even most methods of spirituality are tied into egoism. There's very little pure practice. And what's worse is that so much of it is unacknowledged. It doesn't acknowledge that this is the ego working. The ego is what must be dropped. It is also how we are doing the work. That is simultaneous. We are here doing the work with the ego, with the shell body, and we also, what the work that we're doing is to eventually drop it. I could go on and on about karma, and I think I will say this one thing about karma, because this is about love, but I've kind of gotten off the topic. I'll bring it back. So karma, if you're thinking about karma as some sort of like reciprocal give and take relationship where if you do a bad thing you're punished and if you do a good thing you're rewarded, you're thinking about it all wrong. Karma on this plane, you'd be doing better to think about it in this way as like a sound dying out. Rough vibrations that are slowly dying off. And the more calm you get your water, this is the rough vibrations of karma are the ripples of your pond that we talked about earlier with the sun reflecting. So that's your karma. It's your whole personality basically. I mean, you as you exist in this world, that's all your karma, and that's your ego, and your ego is your karma. As it falls away, as you quiet the mind, karma drops off because you're allowing things to get still. all this rough vibration that we experience here, all the torment that happens because of up and down. Everything is anxiety inducing. Getting what you want, you suffer. Don't get what you want, you suffer. All that suffering is just the rough vibrations of karma, and they're being worked off here. But they're only being worked off effectively if you're allowing yourself to cool. If you're constantly responding to the vibrations of karma with more vibrations of your own, rough vibrations of your own, then there will be no stilling of the water. This is in us the will to respond, not to react, to respond. To respond by calming. When you react with more karma, with more vibration. But when you respond with calming, now you're really doing the work of karma yoga. You're really working off that karma. And it's not a punishment. You don't get bad things don't happen to you because bad karma. You're being punished for shit that you did. That's not how it is. It's that all vibrations operate according to basic laws, and if you put rough energy out, rough energy comes back. It's like sound. It's like the world is reflecting your sounds back at you. And so by getting clarity to yourself, you'll get clarity to the universe as well. Seeing clearly and clearing that lens, if you can picture this, clearing the lens is like getting in touch. Imagine it's like a screen that you're trying to FaceTime someone on, and it's scratchy and blurry, there's a lot of interference. So you're trying to get in touch with the sun, and I mean like the glowing sun, as I was referring to it as like God's light, but again, overused word God, but there is that powerful energy, and when we touch it, we know what it is. It doesn't need a word, and it can't be summed up. So getting in touch with that thing, there's all this static in the line, and so you're clearing out that static as you get calmer. You're clearing out that static to get in touch. To get in touch, because that is the only truth, the only love. And so to get in touch with that, that's getting still. Getting still is getting in touch with true love. And most of the rest of it is just desire. Now the good news is it's summed up a little bit in the biblical story of Moses going up the mountain for the fire. He didn't go up for the holy light. He went up for cooking flame. He got the holy dose. He went up for cooking flame. So all your desires are roundabout, leading you eventually to the agape, to the love. But it's a rough ride. It's a rough ride to follow desire down that road. A lot of rocky horror picture shows.
All right.
It's a rough path.
I think we're rolling out.
For me, seeing the nature of that rough path, understanding the truth that that path is rough, and wondering if there is an alternative that is not led by desire, where I can start to calm my desire and get in direct tune, has occasionally resulted in success. And when it does, I understand why mystics of the olden times started.
All right. Thank you very much for being with me this evening. Me and my green geometric shape. I didn't do near as much shifting of this thing as I wanted to. I wanted to do that. Bam, 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 bam. But I hope that y'all had a good time. I think I dug the audio of me doing the audio journal. Let me know what you thought. Next time you see me in person, or right now in the chat before I shut it all down, or next week if you want to come back and let me know what you thought. I don't know. Let's go, Josh. Let's go. All right. Well, that means a lot to me. That really does, these features. Yeah. Huge thanks. Erica P, you still with us? Erica P, I deeply appreciate you and your participation in all these things. And that goes way beyond dust cats, digicats, any kind of cats. You're way before Zerna, and I love you. And you're not, none of us are insignificant when we feel that way. I'm going to have to run this thanks thing again because I, messed up. Messed up thanking Erica. I'm going to send her that if she isn't still tuned in. Let's see. How do I do this? There we go. So thank you to my digicats. Huge appreciation to everybody who's even taken an interest in this stuff. It's a pleasure to do it for you. Melissa Schick, Ben Dasher, Kenny Creech. Creech, get at me. Gerard Schultz, Ringcat. A lot of y'all have been with me since basically the very beginning. Mama Cat, Sam Seeger, Austin Avalanche Cell, Jen Dudley, Anna Cat, Wayne Anderson, Austin Cat, Scarlett Herrera, Visitor 10, who's got their own thing coming up, which I'm very excited to tell you all about, but I can't drop secrets yet. My man Eric Akers, gonna be more on him. More on him next week. Dogfuck, Loomy Cat, pardon me. Whew, still not fully recovered. It was good to see you this week. Barry Cat, I hope you see this later. Or if you're listening now, like in your car and can't chat, love you, as usual. I hope you have a good week. And for everybody that's listening, everybody in the chat, everybody lurking, everybody neeking, make sure you neek to the best of your abilities. Don't get caught norking. Alright. Oh. Talking to the wrong camera. This is what happens when you do your own camera work and try to do everything yourself. Anyway, thank you very much for joining me this week. Take care until next week. Next week we're going to be doing probably similar type stuff with different type sounds. Maybe with Eric Akers. We'll see. Good night, everybody.